She remembered kicking around in the ashes of the man with Annie at sunrise in '05, finding little trinkets, little warped kernels of glass, residual treasures she took home and organized on her bedroom shelves, along with her broken ceramic animal collection. Like that book she read about wily life forms surviving in capitalist ruins, maybe a little like 12 Monkeys. Using only the symbols available to her, she curved off into a camp close by. Northwest Techno Sup with Thread Camp, the sign said, or maybe AOL MTV chat room camp. Something that made her feel familiar for her earlier online days, maybe something about MySpace. World building, everything made of sand or tiny fruit, whirling pomegranates instead of quarks and muons. Pomegranates. The poetics of that restaurant of Limon Lubace, the forking streets of Beolu, so rivery the way they curved, parted only to meet again, estuaries of one another. The endless almost loop of the festy city planning, organized outward, begging a marginal way, concentric close to circles. The raves she went to on Marginal Way in Seattle at NAF. Was it 2 or just the 1? With DJ Funk in late summer, she remembered everything overlit, floodlights in the parking lot. The songs she made on GarageBand and uploaded to SoundCloud when she was bored and confident. Conceptual and unwieldy remixes, ugly layered poems, cuspy 2000 and late. Wafting around herself, drifting through the landscape or more vaguely the eternal external. Though how to explain the collecting dust that gathered in a cloud around her, magnetic pigpen, some form of static attraction. Her own personal tornado, the twister at the Lloyd Center on a date in like 97. Was she still on drugs? Was she weary? Was she anywhere near her wagon? No music nearby pleased or even intrigued her, so she started humming, held her hand up to her ear to stream the sound of her voice into it, something asemic and simple, lullaby-ly. The gradient relationship to feeling nominally alone, lonely and free, alienation or whatever. The inner spinning, cooking up or conjuring up. She felt like both ends of a wormhole, energy from elsewhere leaking into her and through her, out of her, ghost in the machine, ether in the meat space, and vice versa. She saw an empty chair hammock parked, set apart, covered in a patchwork quilt and a crochet flower blanket. Anachronistic and retro, the metal frame seemed wrought or hand-hammered, something heavy, eerily steampunk or Coraline. She felt reluctant but curious, stellium and Libra acting up again, all retrograde in the 12th house. 2 steampunkers ran up to it, matching leather platform boots and black lace parasols faded or highlit by dust. Jumped in, felt it swing. One saw her looking. Come join us. There's room, they said, but no thanks, she said back. Felt decidedly averse to / afraid of steampunk still. Half inclined to Napoleon Dynamite away, but too shy or lazy maybe. No need, she thought to herself. No thanks, no need, no spoon. Maybe she should find her wagon and drag it to the Oracle. Maybe cross paths with Rilke, she imagined idly. Maybe change at the costume closet again. Felt like it might be time for a reloop, reiteration, like her grown-up noise music roommate in Crown Heights said that one time. The same apartment with a stack of old art forums, remembering her first encounter with Ryan Tricarton and Lizzie Fitch in an art forum article at that dining table. 877 Park Place. Now she had no address to Sharpie on her arm. Tried to remember where her wagon was. Disc camp, something and benevolence? Or was that pitching camp? She saw some neon green palm trees flanking a bar top carpeted with iridescent astroturf. A shirtless, handsome person shook a shaker behind the bar. She sidled up. The bartender strained something glowing into a tumbler, handed it to her with a smile that came across to her as confident and kind of coy. Taste this. It's delicious, I promise. Infused with nootropics and electrolytes. This last part with an exaggerated wink. Maybe referencing that Oh-Oh's movie about the cartoonish demise of U.S. society? Was Pauly Shore in that one, or was that Dude, Where's My Car? She wasn't too sure, but she was thirsty, so she gave it a whirl. Tasted just like coconut water. It's nootropic-infused coconut water, said the bartender. You look thirsty. Help yourself. Lifting a glass jug full of the glowing water up onto the iridescent astroturf. It's glowing because of the black light, said the bartender. Nice, she said, so thirsty suddenly, gulping multiple glasses full, taking the bartender at their word. Feeling glowy, feeling internally forgotten in order to remember herself again or something. Half-lifing, winding down like if she made it back to disc camp and someone offered her a float in one of the altar tanks filled with cave spring water, would she say yes? Would it make a difference? Was she akin to that spinning cat, spinning in possibility, affected by something but not knowing it yet? Schrodinger's raver, Schrodinger's quest, Schrodinger's single mom? Was she a shaky or blurred photograph, or a snapshot of fog or cloud banks? Or the difference or distance between them? She trailed off, somewhat bored of wondering, maybe revving up then, ready to disturb the university to peach, etc. Annoyed by her ennui, itching to do something, default to dance. Say thank you to the dance floor. She said thank you to the bartender, swallowed a last chug of coconut glow water, walked forward with hope good music would catch her ear, began to imagine it her ideal dance music. Some ASMR vocals over dark trance, somehow a two-step sequence, something with a sense of humor, footwork, grammar tying the room together, probably lavish repetition. Could it happen that easily? Could it be that two people were walking right by her, urging her urgently in the other direction, one saying with wide open face to the other, can you believe it? Masked Baskin Robbins secret set, and the other saying, hurry, hurry, and sweeping her up with them when they saw her heart melt with disbelief and delight. Like, it's true? Could it really be that easy this time to find the music her body yearned for out there on the salt flats, which, in her past, were so saturated with supermajority default house, aka unsatisfying, barely satisfactory at best for outlier her musical experiences? So many adventures she had had, combing the curved streets for music that moved her, always yearning and barely ever finding, settling for bass nectar and Tiesto. And now, Baskin Robin, her brave and demure internet sound crush, always masked and dancing in public, when she hadn't even known it was exactly what she was looking for. But then there they were, in a tiny crowd of people, dead set on celebrating the music and their vibe, twisting their faces and bodies in painted thrill. She thought, as happy to be there as she was, for something so special, so rare to her. And there in the middle was masked Baskin R, masked and costumed, lava lamp print catsuit, neon rainbow, punk rocker mullet, skeleton monster mask, bedazzled flip-flops, dusty toes, headset microphone touching the mini mouth window of the mask rubber. She couldn't hear what they was rhyming, but she felt it. The bassy Florida breaks underneath, feeling timeless, feeling DJ Icy, taking her back, taking her everywhere. Everything was moving. She got into the groove, got loose, smiling with her whole body. She felt her dedicated and complicated relationship with the dance floor. All the floors she had danced on had danced for. DJ Frisky, Getting Risky at Floor 99. Hugs and Kisses in Omaha. November Omaha, pre-Y2K. How much she loved music that confused her and music that soothed her. Sunrise House with a wry smile. She stretched and bent and decided she was dancing about architecture, dancing about infrastructure, the Trans-Siberian Railroad and other mega projects, the grid, the cloud, natural and supernatural infrastructure, energy flows and lightning forks, the water cycle, forming gems and hot pockets underground. She pretended she was photosynthesis, the Calvin cycle and the Hill reaction. She couldn't remember which one happened in the light only and which one was always ongoing. But she did remember stealing Shannon's botany notes and making a sophomore biology video assignment about them with Andrea, panning over the fallow fields beyond her parents' backyard with her camcorder, plagiarizing the notes directly into the voiceover. The video she made with Shannon for civics the next year, talking little Caitlin into standing next to the stand of trees near the fence line and saying, "We need trees to breathe," for a campaign against some anti-environmental ballot measure, 1997 or so, peak performative eco-resistance era. She danced like that, magnetic tape, stems and seeds, the scavengery of her early friendships, making a show of defiance within compliance for one another. Love's infrastructure is a lot about trust for her, strands of trust, strands of risk. That watermelon tourmaline she found in the hippie shop near their hotel in Vancouver, BC in 2003, she danced for its crystalline structure, its striated translucence. The music faded. Baskin R was taking a set break. She clapped and wooed, still big grinning, mind blown. She caught eyes with a couple other people in the crowd who looked as impressed as she felt. "Wow," one said to the other. She thought she might hug them, but she didn't. Some interstitial music came on in the background. Jovial, jaunty, lo-fi kind of freak folk. She took a deep breath.